Hello there, and welcome. Are you all tucked in, feeling nice and cozy? Well, tonight we're doing something a little bit different with our explainer. We're going to explore a very special bedtime story. It's all about how one tiny little moment can literally change everything. It's the story of a boy named Adam and a morning he would absolutely never forget. So just relax, settle in, and listen closely as we dive into this beautiful journey together.
Picture a bitterly cold winter morning. The streets are just completely quiet, blanketed in soft, untouched white snow. And there's this young boy, Adam, walking slowly to school. With every single step he takes, his breath turns into tiny white clouds in that freezing air. Now you should know, Adam doesn't have much. His shoes are really worn out, kind of broken at the seams, barely protecting his feet from the icy ground. But, you see, despite having so little, Adam has this wonderfully kind heart, so he just keeps walking.
As he's walking, Adam passes by these brightly lit, super warm shops. He sees kids in thick coats and heavy boots just laughing and playing with their friends. And it would be so easy for him to feel angry or sad about his old shoes. But instead, he just looks down and softly whispers, "I wish I had better shoes, but at least I have something." Isn't that amazing? Even with freezing toes, his heart is just totally full of gratitude.
That brings us to section 1, the barefoot little boy.
Because just a few steps later, the story takes a massive turn. Adam stops dead in his tracks. Right there, sitting by the edge of the icy road, is a much smaller boy, probably no older than 6. And this tiny boy is completely barefoot, no shoes at all. His little feet are bright red from the biting cold, and he's shaking, hugging his knees super tight, trying as hard as he can to stay warm in all that snow. The little boy looks up, tears stinging his eyes from the freezing wind. His lips are pale, and his voice is trembling so much he can barely even get the words out. "I'm so cold," he whispers. It's this tiny, heartbreaking sound, and it cuts right through the winter wind straight into Adam's kind heart.
Which leads us to section 2, a very brave choice.
Adam just stands there, totally frozen. But not from the winter weather. He's frozen because of the deep, real feelings swelling up inside him. He's facing a really tough choice. He looks down at his own shoes. Sure, they're old and broken, but they're keeping him safe from the ice. His mind starts racing. What if I get sick if I take them off, he wonders. What if my feet hurt too much and I literally can't even walk to school? It's a pretty scary thought for a young boy, right? But then, underneath all that worry and fear, another much quieter thought sneaks into his mind, and it pushes all the other fears away. Adam looks at the shivering little boy and thinks, what if I don't help him? That one powerful thought, it completely changes his entire morning. It builds into this incredible moment of courage. First, Adam takes a slow, deep breath of the freezing air. Then, he slowly bends right down into the snow. Carefully, he takes off his only pair of shoes. And finally, he places them gently right in front of the shocked little boy. "Here," Adam says softly, "you can wear these." The little boy looks up, eyes completely wide with shock. "But what about you?" he asks. Adam just gives him this gentle, brave smile, totally hiding the freezing cold that's already biting at his bare toes. "I'll be okay," he reassures him. Now, as Adam turns and walks away barefoot on that freezing road, the physical feeling is harsh. Every single step hurts. The snow feels like tiny pieces of glass cutting into his skin. But emotionally, deep inside his chest, it's completely different. His heart feels wonderfully, perfectly warm.
And that takes us to section 3, the secret observer.
Because, well, this story has a bit of a secret. On that quiet, snowy street, Adam actually wasn't alone. Standing completely still in the shadows across the road is a well-dressed man. He's been watching the entire thing. He saw Adam pause, saw his hesitation, and ultimately his beautiful sacrifice. And here is the biggest secret of all. That shivering little boy sitting in the snow, he's the well-dressed man's son. The man watches his little boy slip his freezing feet into Adam's worn-out shoes, and the father's eyes just fill with tears. He can hardly believe what he just witnessed from a kid who clearly has so little himself. "Kindness like this is rare," the father whispers softly to the falling snow.
Moving on to section 4, a wonderful surprise.
Let's fast forward to the very next day. Adam is at school. He's trying his absolute hardest to act normal, but his bare feet are still super sore, and his mind is just swirling. Suddenly, the classroom goes completely quiet. His teacher stands at the front and calls his name. "Adam, can you come here for a moment?" Adam's heart starts thumping against his ribs. Did I do something wrong, he wonders, stepping nervously to the front of the room. But the teacher isn't angry at all. Actually, she has this brilliant, warm smile. She looks right at him and says, "Adam, someone has paid your school fees for the entire year." The whole class gasps. Adam's eyes go wide in absolute shock. "My school fees?" he stammers out. "But who would do that?" At that exact moment, the handle on the classroom door slowly turns. It opens, and stepping into the room is that same well-dressed man from the street yesterday. And holding his hand tightly is the little boy, now looking warm and safe. Adam recognizes him instantly. The man looks down at Adam, his voice calm but thick with emotion. "I saw what you did," he says gently. "You gave your only pair of shoes to help my son. You had nothing, yet you gave everything. And today, I just wanted to return a small part of that incredible kindness." Adam stands there, just completely overwhelmed. He can hardly believe it. His eyes fill up with tears, but they aren't sad tears. They are tears of deep, glowing joy. His heart is full of that exact same wonderful warmth he felt the morning before. "Thank you," he whispers.
Which brings us to our final section, the magic of kindness. As we reach the end of our story, we see just how powerful one simple choice can really be. It wasn't magic that changed Adam's life. It was something way better. The man shakes his head and gives Adam a tender smile. "No, Adam," he replies. "Thank you for reminding me what true kindness looks like." In that moment, a grown man learned one of life's greatest lessons from a young boy with a beautiful, giving heart.
And that brings us to the gentle lesson of our explainer tonight. Kindness never ever goes unnoticed. Even when you think literally no one is watching, even when the street is totally empty, love leaves a mark. What you give out from the goodness of your heart always finds a way to come back to you. So as you lay your head on your pillow tonight and close those sleepy eyes, I really want you to think about Adam's brave, warm heart. And ask yourself this: what small act of kindness can you do tomorrow? It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be from the heart. Think about that wonderful question as you drift off. Sweet dreams, sleep well, and always remember to be kind.